Dear Pixie, I am a street artist painting urban art upon buildings and other structures, commonly known as graffiti. I do feel doing this is my spiritual mission, yet it is against the law. Can the Nine comment on this? Am I a creative artist or a vandal? Those that class themselves as street artists are catalysts for perspective. For the street art or graffiti itself can be viewed as aggressive, threatening and destructive, as much as uplifting, creative and indeed activating and healing. Perspective itself, opposing perspective, is shown here between the street artist and the enforcer of law in a blatant and obvious sense. When one takes a step back and looks simply at perspective here, one can then look at one of the major issues that needs to be addressed and healed on a global level. The graffiti or street art, therefore, is not the issue, but the catalyst. As long as opposing perspective remains, there will always be conflict. When perspective can be altered or expanded upon, then one begins to move into a shared perspective, which is a first step into unity consciousness, creating a bridge between dimensions. It is opposing perspective that is the major cause of conflict, war, battle, and the situations that arise from that. So in this sense, the street artist is the catalyst, not just for perspective, but for shifting dimensions, and ultimately triggering a raise in consciousness. Many street artists are aware of this, albeit on different levels. Hence the questioner feeling that this is his spiritual mission. Indeed, the questioner is correct when looking at the deeper issues. Yet there are other perspectives to take into account. Not just those from the law enforcers or the landowners, but from those who stand outside of the street artist's world, viewing it from the point of view of the passerby. Sensitive ones can see the larger picture here, as the passerby may feel personally threatened or attacked by what they see as harsh visuals protesting against a beautiful society, a beautiful setup, a life they enjoy and do not want to see changed. They are triggered, healed or harmed depending on how they allow the images to affect them. Indeed, this can project as a violent form of art, a violent creativity. There is a cleansing effect within this, as mirrored within nature. Dark and light in all things. No structure can simply be one or the other within your reality as you know it at present. Then there is the passerby who also sees an anti-establishment artistic presentation, who also goes about their daily life knowing the structure and setup has many flaws, knowing indeed they are, in part at least, controlled, yet carries on as normal, if you will, for they too, for different reasons, do not want things to change. Yet silently, they share the viewpoint of the perceived street artist and may secretly admire them, even whilst they voice opposition in order to follow the crowd. Guilt is therefore triggered within this passerby, so that this passerby may look at their own inner conflicts and shadows, for now is the time for the light to shine upon the shadows, and this energy shall touch and is touching all. Then there are the passers-by who do not see anti-establishment aggression or violence, but simply art. They admire the work for the colour, perspective and tone. They see the voice of the work, if you will, and they may or may not look at the deeper fractals at play. There are those who respect the underground, silent, hidden reality that runs through this physical dimension, even if they have little understanding of it. There are those who do see the deeper fractals and support the free flow of creativity and the artist's voice that is being expressed. Then, of course, there are the street artists themselves, some coming from such anger regarding their own reality at large that they witness within their own experience. Some coming from the place of ancient expression, the telling of the story through free art, he who holds the artist's eye, he who passes messages and metaphor through creative visuals for all to see. There is no anger here. Indeed, the art itself may well have been the very tool to release the anger. These street artists have moved through the therapeutic aspects of the art and now simply speak the voice of the many through this particular medium that reaches many. These are the street artists who embody the indigo frequency. Then there are those like the questioner. This individual does not come from anger, and he may or may not have transmuted anger through the medium of art. This moves beyond that first creative layer into a deeper state of creativity. From this perspective, this is simply their mission. They may not even be able to answer the question, why do you do this? They may even feel guilty or remorse due to the fact that this is usually an outlawed activity, yet they are led by something they cannot explain. This is the deepest creative level, whereby the artist or creative individual feels as though they are taken over by some other force, and that their actions are no longer their own. This perspective can present in both dark and light forms, if you will. In the case of the service to self, entity attachment within the unbalanced, ungrounded individual, or the conduit of light, drawing the Christ consciousness energy into their very being. Both this light and dark perspective occurs at these deep trance state-like levels of creativity. There are the fractal networks, the nodes that sit within all destinies and all timelines, of which these indigo street artists are a part. Therefore, indeed, they do live their mission, triggering the different perspectives that can assist humanity in understanding the separation experience in order for the soul to individualize, move into the God Creator self, and through that individualization, find unity. The keys and codes to many portals lie within all visual art, regardless of free street art or worldly well-known paintings and digital art. Each picture, each presentation is a portal that mirrors the many fractals and layers within the hyperspace realms and the higher and parallel dimensions within your reality. So in answer to your original question, are you creative artist or vandal? The answer to this is both and neither, depending on perspective and who indeed holds this perspective. Each of you are all that you can be, all that you want to be, and all that you are. You hold the choices, and it is you that deliver the labels to self, if any. The path laid before you is to be followed through your highest alignment, holding focused intention throughout. The intention itself creates the path to be followed, and from this sense you are master of your own reality. If one sees you as creative genius or outlaw vandal, neither perspective or belief can shape you unless you allow external perspective into your own fields. This is the fundamental core message of the street artist, for this is about free voice, expression within liberty through high-level genius flow, colour and image. When the tight reins of society are loosened upon your planet and you move through an ascension experience, the energy of liberty shall flow freely, as is the way within all fifth-dimensional planetary systems. The outlaw archetypes shall transform along with the planet itself, and the seed of this is evident now, amongst that which you may call underground, rebellion, or resistance. The street art itself is yet another presentation of synchronicity for you, the passerby. The frequencies pouring in from your galactic core at this time are affecting the parts of your human brain responsible for creativity. Therefore, creative genius runs through your human genome like never before. This will be expressed through whatever means are available to the creative one. This affects each and every one of you as you soak up these frequencies and move into expansion. There is much to be said, and much that can be said, regarding societal structure and law upon your planet. Those in a state of awakening will see the raise in frequency in that which you know as laws, just as there is a frequency raise in all things. The word etiquette is far more in alignment with the new energies and the energies of the new earth. There are many choices available to you as to how you express your creativity within a manifested sense in the physical dimension. There is much to consider and plans to be made. Yet as you make these choices for yourself, it will feel as though you are simply being, following one's inner calling without even making a conscious choice. Without judgment and with full acceptance, we say to you, surrender to your creativity, and you, each one of you, will find your creative expression at the very core of all that you are. For your creativity is the aspect of you that is the source of all things. Creation itself. Source itself. We are the white-winged collective consciousness of 9.